I've learned a great deal in chapters 1 through 4. Some of the things I've learned include communications has a purpose, the effects of perception, linguistic sensitivity, and sending nonverbal messages. When it comes to communications has a purpose, I learned that there's so much more to communications than just the actual communications. I've learned that, you can use communications to develop yourself, you can use it to meet social needs, develop and maintain relationships, exchange information, and influence others. For example, in my daily life, I use all types of communication. When I'm working, I'll use communications to exchange information, and I'll also use it to influence others. People will use communications on a social level as well. We enjoy, conversation. We enjoy meeting other people and engaging in different types of conversation. Communication is extremely important, and these different branches of communication are extremely important as well. Perception, I learned that there's the two main types, I'm starting over again, and I'm not even looking at you. I'm just going to start over again. Don't even no. I promise this time will be good. I've learned a great deal in chapters 1 through 4. Some of the things I've learned include communications has a purpose, the effects of perception, linguistic sensitivity, and sending nonverbal messages. Communications has a purpose. I've learned that there's all different types of communications. People will use communications to develop themselves. They'll use it to meet social needs, to develop and maintain their relationships, to exchange information, and to influence others. For example, I will use all different types of communication throughout my day. When I'm in a business setting, I'll use communication to exchange information and influence others. When I'm in more of a personal setting, I'll use it to develop myself and to also meet my social needs. People enjoy communicating. When it comes to developing themselves, they enjoy learning about themselves. And when it comes to social needs, we enjoy having conversations with different people and getting to know others. The effects of perception, I learned that there's high self-esteem and then there's low self-esteem. Depending on the self-esteem, it really can affect your communication greatly. When you have a low self-esteem, your perception of oneself is going to be completely negative. When you have a high self-esteem, you're going to be positive and you're going to tell yourself you can do it. For example, I make sure that I keep a high self-esteem when I'm doing something. If I have a negative thought in my head, I completely get rid of it. That way I know that my perception is going to be a good one, not a negative one. Linguistic sensitivity I found extremely interesting. It's really important to pick languages and different symbols that people can understand. You want to make sure you pick vocabulary that your listeners are able to understand. You want to be careful when you're using jargon. And also, when it comes to slang, you want to use it when it's appropriate. Depending on your audience and the type of people you're around, you want to make sure that when you're speaking and the language that you're using is not offensive, that they're able to understand, and they're also able to engage in the conversation as well. Lastly, sending nonverbal messages. It's extremely important that when you're talking, you're also aware of your nonverbal cues. You're always communicating nonverbally. So you just want to be conscious of your body, your space, your self-presentation clues. You don't want your nonverbal cues to distract from the message. For example, when I talk sometimes, I might play with my hair, I might move my arms around, I might twist or turn. That can be distracting to my listeners. Those are my nonverbal